Maddie and Kyle are married, and they are the parents of 2 young children. They wanted to share their story with us in the hope that it will help some of you who are watching or listening. So let's first watch a short video, a few clips from their social media. You'll hear them use the word corn instead of the real word for these videos, so it won't be flagged by the platform and taken down. So let's take a look.
I was exposed to corn at the age of 8 and have struggled with an addiction for the past 20 years.
I'm married to a corn addict. He has struggled since he was 8 years old. I make it like my mission to watch his every move, which is so draining. When we were first married, I was super confused, like why he didn't want to be intimate all the time. I was like, don't guys want to like do it all the time?
For the longest time in my addiction, I felt alone. I felt ashamed, keeping it a secret from family, friends, loved ones, my spouse.
My heart breaks for like younger Maddie, like years ago, that thought like that I wasn't enough. Addiction is a super tricky subject, and I'm still learning more about it, but I promise you it has nothing to do with you.
I want to share my story with others so they don't feel alone in this.
Maddie and Kyle, thank you for being here. I know this is a hard thing to talk about, and I applaud your courage in being willing to speak about it, because I hear this is really serious for a lot of people, like millions and millions of guys throughout the country and the world. And what was surprising to me, I remember doing shows about this years ago when I was, doing a daily show. What's surprising to me is that you became addicted or exposed so young. So what was going on that you were 8 years old and you come across the corn?
I got exposed to it when I was 8. It was on my family's computer. My stepdad at the time had it on there. And I just came across it, and it drew me to it. So I just kept going back and looking at it.
And it became your go-to for everything.
Yeah, like unintentionally. My mom was diagnosed with leukemia when I was really young, and got really sick there for a while. And so unbeknownst to me, I was turning to it to cover up my fear, my anxiety. I felt that I needed to be I was the older sibling, so I had to be strong for my younger siblings. And so I wasn't expressing, my fear with that. So I was just turning to corn for that release.
Yeah. And so when you met Maddie, you all ended up getting married. Did you ever tell her that you had this as an issue?
In the beginning, when we were dating, I had mentioned, she asked if I had an issue with it. And I said, yeah, I've viewed it in the past, but I have it under control now. So I was lying to her about it.
You were lying. Yeah, you were lying. When did you realize, Maddie, that it was an addiction and not what people always say about this, that all men watch it?
Yeah, I hate when people say that, because even if he was just watching it, sometimes in our marriage, I wouldn't be okay with that. But a month in, I found stuff on his phone, and I broke down. I was like, what is this? And that's when he broke down and was like, I have a problem. And so I definitely felt blindsided, because we had talked about it before. And so it was kind of shocking to me, but that's when I found out. It was like a month in.
So you were trying to hide it from her?
Yeah, I was viewing it behind her back and just not telling her.
So, Maddie, you've said that you're not sure your marriage will survive this. Why? What do you want to say to the partners and to the family members of people who are struggling with this like you are?
Yeah, there's been many times that I felt that we can't make it through because the lies and the betrayal that come from finding out he was lying. But I do know lots of the time he was in denial himself and didn't want to admit that it was a bigger issue. So there is hope, I would say, for the partners of addicts going through this, to know that as much as this addiction makes it feel like it is your problem, like it is because you're not enough, it is because you're not a certain way, that is not the case. It took me so many years to learn that.
How long have you all been married?
We've been married 6.5 years. So I would say, the last year is when I finally realized that like this addiction is so much deeper. It's something that he's used as an unhealthy coping mechanism since he was 8 years old. Like it started long before he knew me. And I'm like, how many times do I try to break a bad habit and I have to start over? I mean, this is an addiction. So when you step back and look at why they're using that to cope, it makes it easier to have compassion and understand that you are enough, and this is something that you guys can get through together as long as he's willing and wants to.
And you are willing.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
is now.
He is now. He
But
is.
I will say, you were like, you can't force an addict. The first couple of years, I was like, you're doing this, and it took, I don't know, a couple of years for him to really want to do it himself. And that's
And,
the thing.
and why is that? Why is that, Kyle? Because you thought you weren't that bad. You're like Amir. Like you're like you've got it under control.
Yeah, I mean, I was in denial about it. And then there's still that, as far as the addict aspect of it, like I wanted it still. I wanted to have that. And, you give up so much control to an addiction, and you want as much control over other things as possible. So your free will or your choice on that is kind of what was the driving force for a while that kept me from being in recovery.
I'm wondering, is AI going to make this worse?
I think so. I think it's going to do two things that are damaging. One is you don't need actors because you have AI, and so it's a bottomless pool of information that you have at your disposal, and so there's just more content available. The other thing is AI is very good at learning what you like and what's interesting to you and making things that are tailored to your preferences. So I think it's going to be weaponized in that way through AI, and that's, I think, a very big concern.
Oh yeah, I remember doing a special on AI, and I was talking to Bill Gates about this, and to Sam Altman. I mean, people are going to be falling in love with their AI. Yeah, they are. They're going to want to marry them. They're going to want to fall in love with them. They're going to be buying them presents and all that stuff. It's going to get bad. I think it's
so.
going to. And you think it's going to get bad.
I do, yeah.
And you think it's going to get bad. It already is bad.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse. So I want to bring Connor McLaren and Alex Slater into this conversation. They are members of Gen Z who co-founded Quitter, Quittr. It's a popular app designed to help men break free from this addiction. So Alex, what inspired you to take this on?
I'll say me and all my friends struggled with it, and no one was really open about talking about it. Then there was a bunch of YouTubers that sparked this new movement called self-improvement. Quitting porn was a part of that. Gen Z were significantly underserved, so I built an app for it.
Right. So you started it for yourself originally?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Because you were addicted to...
I wouldn't say addicted, but I definitely wanted to cut it out. And yeah, as much control as I thought I had, I didn't.
Yeah.
So I built a better solution.
Yeah. And so when you all got together and decided you were going to create this app, yeah. And what does the app actually do?
So we set out to build an app that makes it cool and fun to stop watching adult content. And so we built a gamified accountability platform, and we wanted to provide users with the most tools and resources to help them get to the finish line. When it comes to the features, you get on the platform, you set a commitment, you actually paid for the platform, so you have an intent to quit. We gamify it through streaks, education, resources, and most importantly, we have a community and an environment where you're not shamed when you're vulnerable and you're supported.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
Yeah.